How you doing?
I'm really good. That's so exciting to be live with you. We are the Alcohol Freedom Finders, and this is our first little foray into live YouTube. We just wanted to get conversational, have a conversation. We've talked for years now around our journey with moderating and finding our way through the path of do we, don't we with alcohol. So we just wanted to get chatting, didn't we?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, we've started a new group this month, a 30-day program, and each time you do that, it's interesting to sort of take yourself back there and think about what a big step that is, and that sort of transition time between most people have gone through a journey of um, trying to moderate, trying to sort things out. With willpower, with just making deals with themselves about how much they want to drink and how much they don't want to, when they want to drink, and all those little rules, and then realizing at some point, okay, this isn't working. I need to do something, and that's pretty scary. I mean, how are those early sort of transitional days for you?
I'm really glad you're talking about this because I think it's easy to forget how private it all is. Like, I
Mm,
think for me, the whole thing was around when I was drinking more than I wanted to. It was like, I don't really want to admit this to myself, let alone tell anyone. I need to get a handle on this. I got here this myself. Surely I can get back out myself as well. So I spent as much time, or a long time, years, sort of going, what is too much? Am I
mm,
drinking too much? What's normal? Checking in with other people, just so how much do you? What day do you still? What do asking those questions of other
mm.
people, trying to where I was in the pecking order of
Yeah,
drinking.
surrounding yourself with people who drink more than you is usually this is also quite handy. You think, well, I'm not as bad as him. Mm,
And then finally, when you kind of launch into trying to stop or trying to reduce, just being super private about it, like wanting to find a way to just do this by myself. And I think I forget what the work that we're doing because we just celebrate the group program and the learning the science and sharing stories. I forgot actually that first bit around where is good help, what does good help look like.
mm. Yeah, and it's just it doesn't. Yeah, like you say, you want to sort it out yourself. I'm a yeah. Um, I very much. I was very secretive to begin with, and and just sort of um, didn't tell anyone that I didn't need to tell. Didn't really know what how long I was going to do it for, whether I could do it, and you sort of you want to sort of think, well, before I say tell anybody, I want to know whether I can, or what are the boundaries I want to set for myself? Is it going to be? Am I going to go back to moderating? Am I going to you want to get a handle of it for yourself, and it's very lonely and a scary time. But yeah, the sooner you find a podcast, a book, some self help, some a path that you can sort of grip onto. Um, yeah, once you can get that, then that's really that point was when I sort of realized, oh yeah, okay, I've found Annie Grace's book, for instance, and I found Alan Carr's book, and there's some more quick lit, and there was there are I'm not on my own. Other people are in the same sort of boat and have done the same trip, and yeah, maybe I can work this out for myself, and see it, and work out how it feels.
So what's the turning point where you feel um, you've done the quit lit, you've maybe read a book or two, you've read a book or two, you've listened to some podcasts. At what point for you do you think you want to reach out and join a group? Or when do you recommend joining a group? If you could look back at your time, look
If I
back at
could
your
look
time.
back, I mean, yeah, now I wish I'd done it straight away. I mean, because but yeah, it has to feel right. But it initially you sort of think, well, I'm different, and there's embarrassment, and and even even shame. I felt that because we're told you should be a responsible drinker, you should be drink like a normal person, you should those are the things that your society seems to have. Um, Present us with the idea that drinking is perfectly normal, and it's perfect, and you should be able to do it. with control, and when you can't at some point, or you're struggling with that, it feels like, I can't tell anybody that, because they're all okay and they'll look at me, and I'm supposed to be this guy with a job and a wife and a family, and holding it all together. Um, yeah, it's a real struggle to sort of get your head around. Okay, maybe I do need some help here. But yeah, when I did get it, then things just go so much quicker, and you can be helped, to freedom.
A problem shared is a problem halved.
Yeah,
So
that's a good saying.
as soon as you realize, as soon as you can overcome the shame and embarrassment of sharing with just one person, then all of a sudden we can. Humans love community.
Mm,
You know, it's one person, and it makes, it's like this big elephant that's in the room just gets slightly smaller because you've shared a problem, and
yeah,
they're like, not such a big deal. You can just, let's do it together, or it becomes possibilities, and then
yeah,
when you get into the group situation, like this Naked Mind group that we run, you start to realize that this guy over here is going through his set of challenges, and you can help that person. And some people like listening to the videos; they love the videos that we offer, the daily video content, and
mm,
some people love reading the book. That's what we found this week, is actually going back
yeah,
to the book. The book.
yeah, yeah. That's where I started. The Annie Grace's book. That was what opened my eyes from. Oh, actually, yeah, it's not my fault, and you can. Um, you can get past the idea of that alcohol is the be all and end all. I thought it was, my source of happiness, my source of fun, my source of, escape and relief, and all these things. But actually, you you can learn to see it completely differently and realize, actually, it isn't the solution. It's actually the problem, and it's the alcohol the problem, not me the problem. And that was, such a it takes time to sort of to change those habitual thoughts. But it was such a
What
relief to realize that other people have found a way out, in the same way that I had with cigarettes. That I don't feel like I'm addicted to, I smoked for 20 years, but I don't feel like I'm a cigarette addict still. It's just, I don't need to do that anymore.
So, what do you mean exactly when you say it's alcohol that's the problem? Because surely, when people are in that first bit, they're just aware that it's they got themselves into it. They need to get themselves out of it. Tell me.
Well, I suppose, I
Um,
mean, it to some degree, it is their responsibility, all our responsibility, to take care of ourselves, and to change the things that are not serving us anymore. But it's, the alcohol itself is an addictive subject, that's addictive substance that's pushed to us, from the cradle, basically. That's it's everywhere, and it's the thing that everybody does, in every situation, to celebrate, to commiserate, to console, and to relieve, and to soothe, and all these things. It's the go-to, but we're all sort of told to do it, um, with, with care, and not overdo it. But it's addictive, and it'll get everybody, eventually, given the right set of circumstances. And yeah, that's. But yeah, so in that sense, to me, it's the alcohol that's the problem. And if you, can take away, you can see it for what it is, then you can stop, um, the idea that you're giving something up. You're actually just taking something away, and not having to do it anymore. In the same way that I had with cigarettes, or, any kind of, uh, habit that's not serving you anymore. I mean,
so,
how was it for you, in those early days? What did you, um, go
I think,
through?
look, if I'm going to be really honest, I probably thought that by doing dry January every year was going to be enough to try to reset myself. But I was never changing any behaviours, and I was only doing it with willpower. And we can all do 30 days. You can sort of get through what I'm going to do for 4 Friday nights or whatever it
Mm.
is. But it wasn't until I started reading literature and realised that other people were feeling as bad about drinking as I was, regardless
Mm.
of how much they were. It isn't whether you drink a glass of wine a day, a bottle of wine a day, 2 bottles a day. It's actually how you feel about your drinking. So actually, if you want to just get back in control, um, addressing it in a more, I don't know, I guess being open about it was the only way that I was going to make some real headway. So the longer I kept it in the closet, like I kept my
Mhm.
drinking too much in the closet, the longer I kept the trying to stop in the closet, the less likely I was to kind of achieve, because I've still got all of society telling me to, to join in and what's wrong with you. But as soon as you tell a small part of society that you're not going to do it, they've got your back. And then you're like, hang on a minute. So I'm dealing with the substance. That's the problem, not me. And I've now got a community that are doing the same thing as me. And then it's like you've jumped on board the love boat or something, because you're all in it. You're all in it together. And I think that the it was the moment that I felt that I wasn't alone, that the change started happening around me rather than me to make change. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah, no, for sure, for sure. Yeah, just realizing, I mean, with I mean, for me, um, I hung on tight for so long because I thought that it would be the end of the world if I had to stop. Um,
So,
and I wish I'd known way earlier that actually, if you can see alcohol for what it is, well, it's a dopamine stimulant that makes you feel good for a while, and then but there is a downside to it each time, and that's a physiological thing. And we're not talking just about hangovers. It's actually the dip in your feel good hormones is, lasts much longer, and it causes the sort of anxiety that some people, and I used to drink because I felt anxious, or I felt, depressed, or didn't feel like I could socialize without it. And it's the kind of thing that spirals you down, because it's your system um, comes to rely on the unnatural highs that the alcohol gives you. And but so yeah, learning all the science for me was really powerful, because it made me see, oh, that's what it is, that's what it does, and um, it isn't something to miss. It's actually, it was doing, more harm than good. It was holding me back, and that can be enough. If I'd learned that, if people knew that from the outset, people would be much more aware. Okay, I'll take it or leave. I'll use it much more carefully. It won't be my go-to for everything. Um, and I think it can be used. This method of learning and seeing it for what it is, thinking about it slightly differently, can be also a way of getting it back under control. And many people do, through our methodology, do a reset. When they feel that they've been overdoing it, they can get the tools to go back to drinking, once or twice a week, a couple of glasses here and there, and be more take it or leave it, because they can see it, that it isn't, the cure for everything, or the tool you need to use to make yourself feel better in every situation.
yeah, that's exactly right. And one of my clients that went through some one-to-one coaching with me last year has said to me that she can actually go and have a glass of something here and there, but it's no longer the elephant in the room. It's just a glass with some liquid in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I think the ultimate conclusion is, for me at least, and for many that spend time with the methodology, is that you end up not wanting to drink at all. But it's very inclusive in that it, all phases of um, your relationship are catered for. And if you want to, if your goal is moderation, just getting it a bit more under control, and cutting out the binges or whatever it is, this can really help you, because it's just it's a way of seeing a way of changing the way you think about it, changing your beliefs about alcohol, and then it loses its loses a lot of its attraction very quickly.
Okay, so really, what in summary, what we're saying here is that um, get out of the cupboard. It's not as embarrassing and as shameful as it feels. Lots of people are going through the same thing, and if we start making steps towards finding somebody to tell about it, or join a group like ours where we sit together and support one another,
Mm.
it'd be super easy.
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely, yeah, and yeah, and know that the I think probably the hardest step is actually admitting that you that the struggle you've been having isn't working, and that you need to take a new course of action and make that step. And it is scary, but you've done the hard work by making that conclusion. Okay, I need to try something else, because just willpowering it and white knuckling it, I keep letting myself I keep feeling let down by myself, or getting myself into situations I don't want to be in. And so, yeah, get a book. Quick Lit is fantastic. Our podcast is obviously amazing, and but yeah, find some kind of thing, that a path that you can follow, and know that there's lots of help out there. AA is one path. It wasn't for us, but that's one thing. But there's also great community there. Um, but it's not the only thing, not the only show in town anymore. There's plenty of other people out there that have an alternative way of looking at it, that actually allows you to get free and not look over your shoulder every day and feel you're missing out. You can actually start to see it as something that has no attraction anymore. And that would be, the way. That's what I want for everybody, is that they don't, that life is actually and can actually be better, without without alcohol, or certainly with a lot less.
Exactly. So a message is um, a problem shared. And my mum used to say this to me all the time: a problem shared is a problem halved. And you can look
Mm,
around you, they're struggling with their own, keeping things to themselves. I'm a
yeah,
great believer, teaching my children to tell me what's wrong, and so I can help them. So why don't we, take our own medicine, and just, if it's not comfortable telling a friend and it's not comfortable telling somebody else, then tell us. That's what we're here for.
yeah, 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 absolutely, yeah, yeah, yeah. Subscribe to the podcast, and hear lots of other people's stories from all sorts of different walks of life. Something will resonate. And yeah, yeah, and if you're looking for any kind of help, then reach out to us.
Fantastic.
Right. Shall we call it there, and see if I can work out how to turn it off. Live, end the stream. Okay. See you soon.